What's going on? Please help me. My heat broke last night, and it didn't break off. Like, that would be fine. I could just, bundle up like Leo and the Revenant and just survive. But it's stuck on, and I'm drenched in sweat right now, and it's like 90 degrees in my room. Please send help. Please send help. Send me some ice water. Email me some ice water. Just do whatever you can. Please help. Today's show is big, and it's long, and there's a lot of different sports talk, and yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm sorry, I can't really talk right now. I don't function well in the heat. I'm not surviving well, guys. Please help me. Let's start the show. I have no idea where that comes from. Are you ready? Yeah, I don't know where that's from. All right, welcome to this episode of Stone Sports. I am your host, Bert. With me, as always, I have my co-host, Double. Say what up, Dubs.
What the fuck is up?
And my other co-host, Meech. Say what up, Meech.
What up?
All right, boys. So we've got a lot to talk about today.
Big show.
Yeah, big show. The big show. So I guess the first thing we'll talk about is the NBA, and then we could talk about some NHL stuff that happened. So why don't you take us through the NBA stuff? Let's go Meech. Meech, why don't you start us off?
That's not a good idea.
Okay, so we'll go Dubs. What's up, Dubs?
Starting off fucking strong. We love it, boys.
It's the big show.
Listen,
Big show.
basketball's not my department.
Me neither, bro.
I'm not a huge basketball guy.
Me neither, bro. So
So we
Double?
will start off. I have a question for you guys, despite you guys not being big basketball guys. The rookie of the year voting, it's the start of the season. The odds have already changed a lot. I was curious who you guys thought would win. I personally think it's going to be James Wiseman now that he secured a starting spot with the Warriors. And despite no Klay Thompson, because he's going to have to step up scoring-wise.
I heard that the guy that the Kings drafted is doing really well, but I can't tell you his name even.
He's not on the odds here. LaMelo Ball's plus 625, Anthony Edwards plus 425, James Wiseman plus 250, Obi Toppin. Ain't no stopping Obi Toppin.
Yeah, I mean, that's the guy I want to go with, but I assumed he wouldn't even be on the odds for some reason. But if he's on there, I'm going to pick him just because his name won. He's Obi Toppin. I mean, that's a strong name, bro.
It's a strong ass fucking name.
Yeah, so I mean,
Add
that's
to the
my
strong
pick.
ass name list with CJ Beathard and Dare Ogunbowale.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We might have to bring a guest in eventually to talk basketball because I know Jack
Well,
shit.
yeah, the Knicks are 2-2. I thought the Knicks were doing better, and then I was gonna say, yeah, that might favor Obi Toppin.
That was your first mistake.
But next on basketball, I want to talk about things that surprised me so far early in the season. One is the Raptors not having a win as of yet. And two, the Magic, as of an hour ago, are the only undefeated team left in the league as the Hawks lost to the Nets.
Why do you
Two
think
things
the
I would like
Raptors
to
don't
see.
have a win? Do you think there's any specific
think-
reason for it?
Losing Ibaka and Gasol were big departures, and they replaced it with Alex Len and Aaron Baines, which it's an obvious downgrade. And they have been exploited inside so far by Joel Embiid and others.
Right.
I mean, those are
right.
two key guys of the championship team that are gone this year, and that's probably contributed to that.
For sure. And the Magic, Markelle Fultz, former number one overall pick, has finally figured it the fuck out. He's got 18 points a game down there right now, and the Magic are 4-0.
I mean, I remember after
Damn.
he got off to a super slow start, everyone was just basically like,
Labeled
you
him
just
a
got to get
bust.
this guy out of here. You just got to get him out of here because if he's going to rebound, it's not going to be here. just weird situation in Philly, but it's good to see that former first overall pick is now doing well down in the league in Orlando.
Yeah, sometimes it takes them a while too. You got to kind of like, I guess the phrase is let them cook.
Let Russ
I mean,
cook.
they come in so young now.
Right,
that
exactly.
I think their development's definitely a little bit different than it was when we were seeing guys come out their junior or senior year from college after being coached by some of the best coaches,
Right.
in all of sports.
An example of that's Brandon Ingram, who started off with the Lakers and was kind of labeled a bust. He didn't start out great. Now he transitioned down to New Orleans and has looked like an all-star, and he got rewarded a max extension in the offseason because of it. But that's another example of took a couple of years for him to get going.
Right. Whereas, like we saw with Luka, he came in the league hot because he was basically playing those higher level games earlier. So he was going up against better competition and actual playing the game of basketball, not AAU playing the game of basketball.
Yeah, I mean, like in any sport where you have like let's say like a prospect system, you like a person's draft class can kind of determine their development a lot, because like when they're playing at the semi-professional level, if the whole class is not that great, then it's one thing. Whereas like sometimes you'll have draft classes that are like completely stacked and those players like have just played against better players, I guess. Does that make sense? Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So it's like that can be a different thing too. So if you have a really great player and then the rest of the draft class is trash, sometimes it takes that player like a time to cook at the professional level, to use the phrase again.
For sure. I will say one thing about my Hawks who lost. They did cover the spread, won me some money tonight.
Yeah, the Hawks. Trae
That's
Young
Meech's catchphrase.
Fuck yeah.
Cover
dude.
the spread.
Cover the spread.
Cover the spread. Most important words in sports, bro.
I don't know about that.
Meech
But they're
never
definitely
covers
up
the
there.
Spread, but he's all about covering spreads if it's a fucking team.
What? I didn't even hear the first part of that insult, man.
So Meech never covers this spread.
He's referring to your dick and balls, bro.
Yeah, just out here free balling, no
Possibly-
fucking curtains.
Possibly your asshole too.
Free,
This man doesn't even own curtains.
balling.
Quick side note story. I had a vacation in Toronto where there was we had a nudist that lived in like the building across from our hotel. Did not own curtains. Walked around buck ass naked all 3 days.
Just letting it all hang
We were
out,
staying
bro.
there. Old ass fucking guy.
That's fucking amazing.
Me and my mom were out on the fucking balcony and she was like, wouldn't it be fucking crazy if there was a naked guy? Oh my god. There's a fucking naked guy.
That's what you get. That's how the universe works, dude. Ask and ye shall receive.
Now that we've gotten off track, I'll fucking bring it back real quick. Trae Young, do you think that if the Hawks could keep it up, you could see Trae Young get MVP nods?
Yeah, so I think he could definitely get some votes. I don't know if he's gonna advance to the level where he's gonna, he could be an MVP this year. Although that team does look better around him. They have really built a good compilation of players there. I feel like I'm definitely rooting for Atlanta this year. I kind of have teams that like jump around in like every sport. So like this year, I'm kind of rooting for like the Bills in football, because why wouldn't you root for them, right?
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, and the Hawks in the NBA. And then, like, remember when the Royals were in the World Series? I rooted for the Royals because, like, I root for, like, I choose these, like, small market teams. I'm like, I hope they do well. Like,
I'm the
not
same
better than
way.
my teams,
I do the
obviously,
same shit.
Yeah, I'll root for the underdog. I'm a Mets fan.
Wanna keep
you
it
have
on
to
this
pick
year.
other teams to root for.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck you.
It's the only time you see a fucking win.
Oh, shut up. I cannot fucking wait, because I got news for you, Double. The dark times are coming for you. They're
Are
coming.
They? Oh, well.
Yes,
I
they
don't know
are,
about
brother.
that.
Yes, they are.
I thought you were talking about the Mets coming up this year, and I was like, they
No.
haven't done
No.
Anyway, finishing up the NBA, do we have anything else for that?
No, that was it for that. We can move into hockey.
Hiaki.
Hacky.
Bernie's
And
favorite.
this is why I was saying the dark times are coming, bro. Because Zdeno Chara, blah 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 blah. Zdeno Chara is just the start. It's just
they
the
lost
start.
Krug too, so they lost a couple pieces.
Yeah, we fucked up that whole situation.
Yeah. Well, Chara kind of makes sense, dude. He's getting
that
up
one-
there.
That one kind of makes sense. I wish he would have just fucking they could have given him not much just to stay for another
Yeah,
year.
and retire a Bruin.
Right. They should have
Yeah.
done that.
I
And
agree.
the Krug thing, they spent money on a bunch of fucking trash ass defensemen when they could have not done that and saved the money and paid Krug in the fucking offseason. He was
Yeah.
one of our best players, and we just let him walk for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the interesting thing right now is like a couple of weeks ago with the NHL, there was like really nothing happening. Like nobody was getting traded, nothing was really happening. And, all these teams now are up against the cap. So you've got players moving around, and Chara going to the Capitals is really interesting because you can kind of tell, I think, in my opinion, the Capitals are kind of like scrambling, like panicking, trying to figure out what to do because they got rid of Holtby. They sent him to the Canucks, which is, fine. Holtby is not as great as only Washington Capitals fans thought he was. And they got Lundqvist, and now Lundqvist has to get open heart surgery and probably will never play hockey again. So, well wishes, bro. But yeah, so now he's gone. And, I think they're they do have a good backup goalie. What's his name? Samsonov or something like that. He's really good.
Sergei Samsonov.
But, yeah, but I feel like the thing that's really interesting about that move is you've got Chara going to the Capitals, who, because of the division realignment, they're now going to play each other like a shitload. So that's really fucking weird. I guess I got lucky in that boat because I don't have to watch Henrik Lundqvist put on a Capitals jersey now. I mean, at what cost? He can't play hockey anymore, and that's super sad. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but that is your favorite
Ovechkin
team.
jersey.
Yeah, I'm not making a jersey. Go fuck yourself.
Well,
I'm gonna take a
t-shirt,
Sharpie and write it on a t-shirt.
Your punishment is you have to make a jersey. Like you have to sew it and everything. It cannot be bought.
I want
You have to make
patches.
it.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what other trade news happened. You had Taves too, but Taves is out with some sort of illness, right? That has not been disclosed.
Yeah, he
As
just
far as
said
I'm
he's
aware.
feeling like feverish and fatigued, but they haven't said what it is. So I'm just hoping he's all right.
Yeah, I mean, also speaking of players that are out, we touched on this, I think the last episode, maybe the episode before, but the Kucherov thing. All right, I've done some reading. The Kucherov thing is bullshit. The Lightning are doing cap circumnavigation right now. That's what's happening. Because think about this. They're up against the cap. They've got to pay Cirelli, right? And now all of a sudden he needs hip surgery that's going to leave him out for the entire season, but he comes in the playoffs, which means he can come in the playoffs and they can win, and he doesn't count against their cap. It's kind of garbage. I'm kind of pissed off about it. I mean, I'm not pissed.
A little ridiculous.
I'm not pissed at the Lightning because, like, if the loophole's there, exploit it. But, so that's some bullshit right there. And I'm sorry, I just had to get that rant out because when I fucking looked at that, it made me so angry. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because at first I was like, okay, this is great. Now this means someone else can win the cup this year. It basically means that Tampa's going to come in and fucking, one, they're in the Central Division, which is like the easiest division out of all of them. So they're going to just sweep that, and then they're going to come in the playoffs and have Kucherov back, and they're just going to kill it. Like, that's what's going to happen, and it's fucking bullshit. So
Kucherov, strong ass name.
it is a strong ass name, and he's a strong ass player. I'm not, talking shit about him. He's a strong ass player. And then
He's not as hip as much.
meet you with the good jokes. Oh man, way to go, bro.
Stay away from the Rob Blake hip checks because his hip can't take it, bro.
Yeah. Oh, you're on fire right now. Must be high as hell.
I did my customary, like, I've been taking, so every week I've been taking a bigger hit, it seems like, and I think it's working.
I am just fucking blitzed.
Ballroom blitzed. And back in there, turn to the ballroom blitz.
Yeah, there were some.
You fucking nailed it.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
I
a
know.
great song. Don't
Yeah.
don't talk shit. That's a
I
great
know
song.
all
I
the
think it's
words.
sweet. I mean, I could tell you all the words if you want, but we'll do that off air. There were some other trades that you wanted to talk about with the NHL, right, Meech?
I was just gonna run through some of the signings, not necessarily trades.
Trades, right? Okay.
Yeah, Patrick Marleau goes back to San Jose. He spent most of his career there, so he returns there. Braden Holtby signed an extension with the Canucks after being traded. Torrey Krug signs a 7-year deal with St. Louis. Tyler Toffoli, former King, signed a 4-year deal with the Canadiens. Tyler Hall signs a 1-year deal with Buffalo. Alex Pietrangelo signs a 7-year deal with the Golden Knights. And then Zdeno Chara, as we talked about, signs a 1-year deal to go to the Caps. Other than that, I was just bringing you up on the.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Krug thing double? I mean, I know we kind of touched on it, but like, I don't know. I feel like St. Louis.
So it feels like teams like our competitors keep taking steps forward, and every offseason we take a step backward.
Right.
And in management's mind, the letting Krug go, letting Chara go, it's to keep the core together for longer. But it's like the core is running out of time, and we like every move we make from here on out is going to be crucial.
Yeah, man, it is. What's the? I can't believe I can't think of his name right now. What's the name of the other defenseman you have who's like mega dope? McAvoy. That dude is a monster. I think your future is going to be okay as long as you keep McAvoy there.
And
like
we
you
have
could build a
enough
team
top
around
ends.
McAvoy and like fucking go at it.
Well, we have enough top end talent with him, Krejci, Pasternak, Bergeron, Marchand that
Yeah.
we're going to be competitive no matter what. But teams,
They're all
around
getting
us are
older.
Right, they're all getting older, and the teams around us are making moves.
Yeah, and some of them are getting younger. Like the Rangers
Right.
are getting younger. Like everyone's seems to be
Tampa
moving in that
seems
direction.
to get better
Right.
every season.
Well, they're getting younger too. So yeah, I
Right.
mean that's definitely it. All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about with hockey?
No,
No,
that's it.
it just seems like a bunch of signings have happened.
Yeah.
Unlike the formerly known as hot stove in the MLB, which the last few years has been the coldest goddamn stove. Someone needs to check the gas or the electricity to that stove. 'Cause
Nothing
it's not working. The last few
happens.
years has been
Nothing
horrible.
happens.
So there was one thing, but here's the thing: this hot stove has moved from signings to trades, and so
That's
you
true.
didn't have any big signings really, but you did have a trade. The Padres actually you had a couple. Padres going after the Dodgers in the NL West, my neck of the woods. They go out and get Snell from Tampa Bay, and
Like
then
we
they go out and get
predicted would
Darvish.
happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, they go and get two solid pitchers. Pitching was definitely their problem in this year's playoffs. I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter announcing that they had a great rotation, but people forget that Clevenger is actually going to be out this year with TJ surgery. So he will not be in that rotation this year. He will be next year. So far, though, they add two big arms to that rotation to try and get past the Dodgers. So we'll see how it works for them.
It seems like they're building for not this upcoming season, but the one after that. Like you said, they're trying to make a push for the Dodgers, but you need to see what you have first. And with Clevenger out, they're going to get other pitchers to build up that rotation, Snell and Darvish. This season's they'll be able to gauge how far they can go with what they have and if they need to make more moves to catch up to the Dodgers in the NL West.
Yeah, and to that point, they are all signed to at least 2 years. So, like you said, they are making that push for when Clevenger returns, not this upcoming year, but next year. And then they'll have a full rotation because Darvish and Snell both have team control for another 2 years. And I think Snell has 4 years.
Yep, he's good. The Rays just extended him like the beginning of last season.
Yeah, and I know Snell's not like a huge contract, but I really want to know, as a Dodger fan, how the fuck are they paying for this? They already have a fairly massive payroll for a Padre team.
You fucking how do you pay for your shit?
we actually have a fan base. We actually have
that's fair. That's fair.
We lead the league in sellouts every year. We have a fan base. You say what you want about when we leave, say what you want. The Dodger fans are great. They travel well. They go to every game, even when this team is bad. Like, they deserve this World Series, and they have a fan base that spends money. I mean, they set records after they won the World Series. They have a fan base that will spend money on ticket sales, merchandise, everything like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, like, their like logo, if you will, is one of the more popular. Like, you see, like, I see Dodger hats like in the 804 all the time.
Dude,
you know?
Dodgers are one of the more popular franchises and one of the most valuable franchises in the world out of all sports. So, I mean, they're up there every year. So they have a team. The Padres, I mean, you go to a Dodgers-Padres game, it's Dodgers fans.
That's the Red Sox with every AL East team except the Yankees.
Like, I mean, it just happens. So, like, and it's only 2 hours away from San Diego. Like, so I just want to know where they're getting all this money to pay for all these people. They also signed the Korean baseball player. This is going to be fun. Ha Seung Kim. So we'll see how he develops.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, props. It wasn't that bad, man.
I'm trying.
Yeah, well, you succeeded.
For someone who used to have, Hyunjin Ryu, I called him Back Ryugen, but I can't do that with this guy's name because it's not as fun. But yeah, we'll see how he goes. It seems like foreign baseball players, both if they're from Asia, Cuba, wherever, it seems like, some hit, some don't. But it's almost, they have more fanfare, so it's more noticeable than like, when your first round pick from, locally doesn't land, I feel like.
I had a Dice K jersey. Guy was fucking electric. Threw the gyro ball.
Yeah, there's been some big names over the last few years, but it seems like we'll see how he pans out because foreign players have had a lot of fanfare and they either pan out or they just flop, it seems like.
Yeah.
Ohtani-san.
What?
I said Ohtani-san.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, that's about all that's happened in baseball.
Cool. So I want to talk about the Bills-Pats game first before we get to the Tits Pack. Because
Tits Pack.
I know. That should have me dying, man. Even when I was editing the episode, just hearing Meech go, Tits Pack.
Tits Pack. Tits Pack. Tits Pack.
So I was bringing a delivery to the door, and I was fucking at the door waiting for the guy to come to the door, and I fucking hear in my car, Tits Pack! Tits Pack! Fucking over the goddamn
Yeah, well, the reason I want to talk about it first is because, I know I said earlier that I'm rooting for the Bills, and I really am, but I rooted against them in this game. Like I said, I got to root for the underdog, and it did not go well for me rooting for the underdog that particular evening. It was a tough game. In the second quarter, I think the Bills scored 21 points.
Yeah, so at halftime, me and Selena were watching the game, and at halftime, I was like, this is horrible. And she just looked up at me, and she was like, we forgot our lube. And I was like, yeah, you fucking summed it up perfectly. We are getting fucked dry by the Buffalo Bills right now at home.
Yeah, you did.
Played like dog shit.
He played like dog shit.
Defense played like dog shit.
Well, that brings me to the question that I have for you, Double. Speaking of Cam Newton, what do you think they're going to do about the quarterback situation? Yeah, I would be too, but what do you think they're going to do?
So the fact that the draft position is moving up and we're getting blown out every game makes me think they're going to draft one. But if they don't, we talked about it last week, I want Minshew because the Jags are going to draft Trevor Lawrence. He's going to go number 1 overall. So Minshew's probably on his way out down there, and I figure why not take a fucking flyer on him. I want nothing to do with Newton. I want nothing to do with Haskins. If we draft someone, I want Zach Wilson from BYU or Trask from Florida. Those would be my top.
Yeah, well, my question to you is, do you think it would be wise to draft a quarterback, or do you think it would be better to go get a quarterback that's like a known quantity and draft receivers? Because you clearly need that shit too.
Agreed. So I'd rather draft a quarterback, but knowing Bill, he'd probably go get one and draft receivers.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we'll see what they do because they're in an interesting position. Now, it's always fun to make fun of the Patriots and, because they haven't been this bad for 20 years. I mean, you haven't had to think about them making the playoffs for 20 years.
I'm 21 years old and we've had 2 losing seasons in my life, and this is one of them.
Yeah, and it just seems like it's just such a rare occurrence. I feel like you have to talk about it. That being said, the Patriots aren't in a bad position at all. First of all, they had a couple huge opt-outs on defense. We all know that's where this team is going to get its mojo. So if those guys
and the guys to add on to that, Reach, sorry to cut you off.
You're good.
The guys that are playing in place of those guys are rookies and second-year guys that are getting a ton of experience under their belt so that when the stars do come back, they're going to have competent backups behind them.
Yeah, and so we'll see what they do. They do lose. Gilmore has 1 year left on his deal after this year, so we'll see if there's an issue there, if he wants to report to camp, what goes on with that contract. But like I was saying, they have the third most cap room in the offseason or something ridiculous?
Yeah. No, yeah, they're like third or fourth. Yeah, you're definitely right there.
They have a ton, and you're going to have some veteran quarterbacks available to sign if you wanted to go that route. So it will be interesting to see. Like, that being said, I totally enjoyed, first of all, being correct, because I picked the Bills in this game, and I thought that was kind of an easy pick. And you and Dubs both picked the Pats. But yeah, the Bills look good. And I mean, we saw Matt Barkley, and I was surprised we didn't see Matt Barkley sooner, because I literally tweeted out, I was like, why is Josh Allen still on the field? They're down, I think it was like 30-something to 37-9 or 31-9.
Yeah.
And Bill had punted in back-to-back possessions.
Yeah, I hit him up and told him I needed the fantasy points, and he stayed out on the field for me.
You got his number? Let's get him on the podcast. Come on, bro.
We're not that close.
Oh, okay. All right. Just like general.
It's not like him and Brad.
Like, I said thank you, and he just left me on red.
Yeah, can we get Brad on the podcast? I'd love to interview Brad. Brad's a COVID risk.
First name basis with Brad.
Selena named her car Brad. I could get that on.
Boo.
I'm disappointed in Selena.
This season's a wash. Next season won't be.
Let's talk about the game that was on when we were wrapping up recording. The snow game.
Tits
Speaking
pack.
about a wash.
Tits pack.
Tits pack.
Tits pack. Tits pack. I can't wait till every year when the Titans play the Packers. It's going to be so fun. Tits pack.
Tits pack.
They're not going to play him every year.
I know.
Yeah.
It's me being it's wishful thinking is really what it is. But yeah, I mean, it was
Titans Packers Super Bowl 3 years in a row.
Hell yeah. It was Jesus. It was a blowout just like the Bills Pats game. It was interesting, and I remember you guys saying, correct me if I'm wrong, that the Titans were just going to run it down their throat. But from what I can gather, that didn't really happen.
Well, they did. They couldn't pass the ball.
Henry still had almost 100 yards on the ground.
Oh, you were saying literally run it down their throat. Okay, my bad. I misunderstood you. I thought you were making a sexual reference.
No.
Okay.
I would have been way more blatant.
For once, you weren't making a sexual reference. Okay, my bad.
I would have been way more blatant.
Would have been jailed for this sexual reference. Jesus Christ. Pat killed him.
Tannehill had 55 yards on the ground and a touchdown as well, but he could not throw the ball for shit. He was 11 for 24, 121 yards and 2 picks. Green Bay, fucking 40-14. Devontae Adams had 3 touchdowns. Meech, your boy, their second round pick, A.J. Dillon, finally showed up and did something.
Yeah, that asshole has been on my roster. I had to draft him, and I couldn't draft Williams, and so he was my handcuff for Jones, and we saw him. Oh, wait, we didn't. We didn't see him until now. I think he's put up 2 points or something like that before this game.
Yeah.
So, I had a front row seat to that. I took the Packers because they're 15-2 at home since 2019. It was a snow game. We knew the weather was going to be shaky, so we thought that the King was going to run the crap out of them. Plus, the Green Bay defense looked horrible against the run this year, but that ended up not being the case. Yeah, it definitely looked sus, which I feel like an old man saying that. I'd never heard that before.
Sus is coming back, bro. Sus is coming back. Sus is an old term, but it's coming back now, which is dope. It's like Word made a comeback when we were in high school. All right, so it's that time, boys.
Word made a comeback again.
It's that time, boys. You know what time it is.
Preview.
The preview.
It's time for the preview.
The preview. And first on the preview list, we have the Vikings and the Lions. Vikings are 6-9 this season. The Lions are 5-10. So I would say it's in favor of the Vikings, but I'm curious to know how you guys feel.
I'm also going to take the Vikings in the NFC North Toilet Bowl. Dalvin Cook's father died over the weekend. Rest in peace. He will not be participating in the game. Despite that, the Lions have 32nd against the pass, and they allow 32 points per game, which is worst in the league. I expect Kirk Cousins to air it out to Jefferson and Thielen, who have combined for 2,000 yards this season and 21 touchdowns between the two.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to use Madison either. I mean, Madison is the surefire backup. We will see a heavy dose of Madison in Cook's absence. I can't believe that was a crazy when you tweeted that out today. And then I read it again. Dude's dad was 46.
He's so young.
Damn,
crazy.
that's
At
tough,
least he got
man.
to see his son play in the NFL, but
Truth.
God, that's early.
It is. Early. That is. That's really sad, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
But yeah, so I do think the Vikings will win here. Like I said, Madison and then Justin Jefferson, who I don't know who passed over him in a draft or anything. But we'll see the great rookie Justin Jefferson.
I'll take the Eagles for 200.
Right over. So that's fun. And then Thielen has been a beast in the red zone. We will see the Vikings win against the Lions, as Stafford also questionable. He missed practice today. Galladay also out. So the coaching staff, I believe, is back for the Lions. It wasn't as kind of a weird situation last week, but they're still going to lose.
They're ragtag coaching staff since they fired half of the building.
All right, so go ahead. Sorry.
It was funny because not only that, but then the week after, Darrell Bevell fired the new defensive coordinator. So it was just like, and then they all got COVID. Then everybody on the coaching staff got COVID. So, or not COVID, but close contacts, I guess.
Yeah, had to be quarantined.
So it was just a weird situation.
For sure. Oh, there it is again. Okay, so that brings us to the battle of, let's call it the battle of the Dirty South. How about that? We got the Falcons and the Bucks. Dirty. Who we taking, Dubs?
I'm taking the Bucks. Brady had 390 yards and 2 touchdowns when they played the Falcons in Week 15. He had 348 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half last week against Detroit, and Atlanta ranks 27th against the pass, so I expect Brady and his weapons to do the same thing this week.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Bucks. I think we talked about it. Their bye week was super late. They were exhausted going into it, and as a result, I think lost a couple games before the bye that they probably wouldn't have lost if they had kind of an earlier bye. They've looked different ever since they come back from it, and even though it was a Lions depleted team, it was just their offense was not missing anything. I mean, Brady didn't even play the second half, which is crazy.
Still had all those numbers.
Yeah, still had, I think, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
4.
4?
Oh,
okay,
4.
yeah, 4.
Wow.
4 and 1 half. So yeah, so
Wow.
this offense looks to be getting clicking, and ever since the bye, they've looked like a different team. I think the Buccaneers are going to ravage the Falcons this week.
Yeah, and they've had I saw a stat today that said they've had 29.9 points per game, which is, I think, a record for them. But I guess that's what you get when you get Brady. Speaking of what you get when you get Brady, or rather when you lose him, the Jets, Patriots.
By the way,
yeah.
Can we talk about how you gave me? I was listening to old podcasts just to here, and improve our product here. And I remember you giving me so much shit for ushering Nick Foles out of town. You guys ushered
No.
Hashtag Tommy.
No. That's
out
not
of
the
town.
case. That's not.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case.
That's not the case.
But I'm not really in a position to speak on it. So
If
That's
Bill showed
so
him
not the
1
case.
ounce,
I'm not even gonna entertain
1
that
ounce
fucking-
of what he's Cam looked like shit, and you would have thought from Bill's comments about him that he played great.
that's fair.
I mean, if Bill even said one of the things he said about Cam Brady, hashtag Tommy might still be a Patriot.
No.
Well, regardless, an interesting thing to note about this game that I again saw earlier today, probably going to bring up a lot of stuff that I saw earlier today, was that the Jets have not won against the Patriots, a road game against them, since like 08, I think it said, or maybe 09. So
Since Sanchez.
yeah, so this will definitely, I mean, I think they're going to beat the Pats. So it's going to be, probably the first time they've won
asshole,
since
jump
7
off
years.
the ship.
I'm jumping off the ship, bro. All right, first of all, I was never on the ship. Okay.
You joined the dark side.
You did join the dark
So
side.
hold
on, no.
You
No,
saw
no.
the iceberg
There's-
and you jumped on the ship.
The ship had a hole.
Funny
in the
joke,
hull, and you
but not
jumped
true.
onto it.
Funny joke, but not true at all.
4 of the watertight.
All right, so let me ask you this
compartments were
question
flooded,
then.
and your ass was swimming. towards
You
the
picked
Titanic.
the Vikings. Does that mean you're now jumping on the Viking ship?
The Vikings.
That actually kind of worked
close
because they had
games.
a ship.
They had cool boats. That is
Yeah,
confirmed.
that's what I'm
And
saying.
they
That's
have
why
a
it worked.
ship.
Right, but what I'm saying is just because I made one pick for the team doesn't mean I'm all of a sudden like on their side. I was just saying I thought they might win that game. That's
one
really
of
what
the
I'm
better
saying.
teams in the
That's
AFC.
nonsense. That's some ish. That's coming out of your mouth right now. It's verbal diarrhea, to quote an older episode.
Really? Because the Bills
Yeah,
just won the AFC.
All right, well, I'm not entertaining this, so why don't you just tell me who you're picking, Meech?
We start talking Patriots and you and Double all of a sudden get a little pissy. I swear.
Oh my
I'm taking
God.
the Jets. Taking the Jets.
Yeah, exactly.
talk
Shut the
about
fuck
the
up. You give me odd
Eagles.
shit and you're taking the Jets.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jets because they're 2-0. If this season was longer, they might make the playoffs.
I guess Double's picking the Patriots.
Yeah, I would never pick the Jets against the Patriots. That's blasphemy.
Okay, all right.
We could literally have a rocket at QB and we'd win.
I mean, let's hope you guys don't get down by like 10. Bill just might start punting every possession again.
Well,
Well,
Punter made the Pro Bowl. Best part of the team.
You are all about the special teamers Pro Bowlers on your god. There's not even pro. No one cares.
I don't have much this season.
yeah, man, take it easy on the guy. Take it easy on the guy. He's clearly like in the worst place you can be as far as sports go.
You have
Well,
a fucking no. I'm not you.
yeah, I know. That's what I was gonna say. That's why I said well. He's holding on to anything he can, isn't he? He's like,
yeah.
Well, at least I'm not you. At least I'm not. You're playing mental gymnastics hard as a motherfucker right now, bro.
Is Stidham starting at QB? As Bill said, probably not.
He doesn't say shit.
I don't know why you wouldn't though.
As long as Brian Hoyer is not starting, I don't care.
Well, who's gonna start for the Dolphins this week?
Tua.
Tua is.
Tua.
Okay,
It's-
so that's
Brian
Dolphins,
Flores
Bills.
said
Who you
it
gonna take in
literally
that
after the
case?
game.
Oh, he did? Okay, I didn't see
Yeah.
that. Who are you going to take in that case in the Dolphins-Bills game?
Bills.
Yeah, I think that's the right
I'm
pick.
taking the Dolphins.
What?
The Bills
Yeah.
are 6-1 in their last 7 against the Dolphins.
Meech?
they-
I'm sorry, Double. I got to cut you off here. I am so salty with you right now. You were giving me all this shit about the Patriots pick. Now you're over here like, oh, I'm on the Bills. I'm rooting for the Bills. And now you're going to pick the Dolphins. Fuck you.
Do you know why I'm picking the Dolphins?
I'd love to hear it.
Okay. So I actually had this as Bill. Actually, I'm sorry. This pick was totally wrong. I picked the Bills. I'm sorry.
God.
No, seriously,
Damn it.
Seriously.
You are the
It's
worst.
when I was doing my notes, I was thinking about picking the Dolphins, and then I remembered that the Bills. Oh, hold on.
You motherfucker, if you go back on it again, I'm not
Times
editing
are
any of this.
formed
It's
under
staying
pressure.
natural and raw because it's ridiculous. Are you kidding
I
me
was
right now?
okay, so I
Much
didn't
like
know the
other
fuck to
films
pick,
in
but
Beach's
basically I was
collection.
trying to pick the Dolphins because I think the Bills are going to sit Josh Allen. They've already clinched. They can gain nothing from winning.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely
Yeah,
true.
so that's why I'm picking the Dolphins. Okay, so I'm
All right,
gonna
I'm gonna dial it back then. That's a smart pick. I'm actually gonna give you some credit where credit's due. There's a lot of thought put into that, some good analysis, but it sounded like Double had some stats to back his pick. So I'd like to hear those.
I also heard Josh Allen is starting.
Oh.
There's no reason for them to except to knock the Dolphins out of the playoffs.
Right. That makes a little bit of sense. You're both making great points here. I'm really proud of both of you. We've come a long way in 15 episodes.
Actually, and if the Bills lose, they lose the 3 seed, so they wouldn't have home field first round.
Yeah, and that would be
that's different than because I was literally.
Although in this
writing
season
notes,
that doesn't matter.
I had my weather report ready for this game because it's the Dolphins who it's going to be 82 on Sunday for them versus the Bills in Buffalo. It's going to be a mix of rain and snow, high of 37. I would pick the Bills if I thought Josh Allen was going to play a majority of this game.
Side note, they approved Bills Mafia for the wild card game.
They sure did. I think, 6,900 fans?
Yep.
That's pretty dope.
Perfect number.
Although that
Bills
fan base
Mafia.
is ratchet as fuck, so that stadium's about to be lit as a bitch.
It's going to look like, me and Meach should talk about it on Twitter, it's going to look like a fucking TLC match.
Yeah, I brought up the TLC match with the Dudley brothers. Tables, ladders, and chairs.
Hell yeah.
Mafia's coming.
Yeah, they are. You know they're amped too, man. You know they're amped too. So you're picking the Dolphins, Meech, and Dubs is picking the Bills?
I am picking the Bills. They're 6-1 in their last 7 against the Dolphins. They beat them in week 2, 31-28. Allen threw for 400 yards. He did that last week against the Patriots. Tua's been shaky. I will take the Bills, who are rolling.
Yeah, the Bills are rolling, and I'm even regretting this as we speak about it. I've got to hope that Josh Allen doesn't play.
Yep.
Yeah, you
See a
do.
dose of Fitzmagic.
Yeah, for sure. God, what am I going to have to do to stop saying that, guys? I do. For sure, Mally. For sure,
Just
Mally.
smack. You have to go to old school methods of training. Just smack your hand every time.
Yeah, or like get a shock collar and just like
Soap
program
in
it to
mouth.
shock me every time I say for sure. Definitely. I would have gotten shocked there.
Starts foaming at the mouth.
All right, so what about this Steelers-Browns game? Because there's a lot on the line for the Browns in the sense that, if they win, they'll clinch a playoff berth for the first time in a long time.
So I went back and forth on this game a bunch of times, and I really couldn't decide until you just said that statement.
Right.
You just said, Bertie.
Right?
Because it's the Browns. They are going to build their fans up to clinch the playoff spot and choke it away at the last fucking minute.
Ooh, so you're picking the Steelers.
I am.
Okay.
I was really undecided until Bertie said that, and I was like, that's the point.
I am going to go with Browns here because Big Ben is legitimately sitting. They won the AFC North, and they said last week that they're probably going to rest him anyway. He was dealing with lingering injuries, and so I'm guessing Roethlisberger and a couple other starters are going to be out of this game. Therefore, I think the Browns are going to lock it up, despite losing the first game 38-7.
Yeah, Baker played like dog shit in that one. That probably won't happen. He's been playing really well.
Yeah, and I mean, they have Chubb back. You think that they're going to have that balanced attack that they have had, and they did lose to the Jets last week, but once again, they didn't have receivers, and that's a big reason why.
Yeah, they got stopped by the Giants on the run game, and then last week they had to rely on it because of no receivers. So
Yeah, that and Austin Hooper. If you had Austin Hooper, I don't know his exact numbers, but he had to just kill it in PPR.
Yeah, well, you bring up the Giants, Dubs, and that's the next game on the list. And I think this is actually a more interesting. Thanks for the transition, bro. But I think it's a more interesting game than it appears at face value because like the Cowboys technically have a better ranked offense than the Giants, but the Giants have a better ranked defense than the Cowboys. So to me, it's kind of one of those games where it's like, depending on how each team shows up, it could go either way. So it's another one of those games I was actually really curious to see what you guys were going to pick.
That's funny to hear because I literally couldn't think of anything to write when I got to this game. I could kind of care less about this game.
Yeah, well, your boy Birdie's coming up big for you today.
I'm with Meech. I have the least amount of notes for this game out of any of them, but I did pick the Cowboys. The Giants are 22nd against the pass. Dalton's played his best game of the season last week. Baltimore ran the ball down the Giants' throat. They had 250 rushing yards last week against the Giants, so that defense kind of got exposed a little bit. And the Cowboys, despite being terrible and their defense sucking, have strung together a couple of wins here, and I think they'll close out strong against the Giants.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants, but they have to run the goddamn ball. 54 yards a week ago, 74 2 weeks ago, and 78 3 weeks ago. Get back to running the ball, you might win some games.
Before that, they had the 200.
Exactly. Like they have struggled. Their losses have directly coordinated with the struggling rushing game. And against Dallas, I think they can get that going again, which is why I'm going to pick them. Otherwise, I could literally care less about this game.
Yeah, totally.
Couldn't agree more.
Well,
that's what they have to do to win this game. If the Giants want to win, they will rush the ball against one of the worst rushing defenses in the league.
Rushing the ball is going to be the story of the next game. I'm going to take the Ravens.
Yeah. And they're also playing for a playoff clinch if they win that game. So
correct. Ravens had 40 carries and 250 yards against the Giants, like we just touched on. The Bengals yielded 10.6 yards per carry to David Johnson, of all people, last week, and 7 yards per carry to Deshaun Watson. I'd expect similar numbers here with the Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins tandem with Lamar Jackson under center.
Yeah, the Ravens had looked like a different team ever since they started getting back to the run. Like we talked about last week, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins have really reinvigorated the run game. We'll see if Brandon Allen. No, Mark Ingram. There we go.
Okay.
We'll see if Mark Ingram's a healthy scratch again this week for the Ravens.
There it is. Meech is back.
I can't
making mental mistakes.
Getting wrong.
Brandon Allen makes the most sense, but since we had just talked about the rush attack last week, Gus Edwards and then Mark Ingram. Anyway, my bad.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. So next on the list, we got the Jags and the Colts. And I believe the Jags' only win this season was against the Colts. So do you think they're going to do it again?
No, Jags are in full tank mode. They're going to fucking probably start Mike Glennon's bum ass again.
Probably.
Despite the Colts blowing the lead to the Steelers last week, Taylor and Rivers have reinvigorated the offense, like you said, with the fucking reinvigorated word of the day. Taylor and Rivers have reinvigorated the fucking offense in the second half of the season for the Colts. The defense has been good all season. I don't expect the Jags to do much.
Yeah, I was looking up if they gave any indication as who they were planning to start. Glennon started last week. We all know and love Minshew. Please, God, put him in the game to make this even the least bit interesting. But
Minshew mania.
While I was researching that, guess who is the quarterback's coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Who?
Is it David Garrard?
Negatory. He has a slick back hair, and he was on the New York sideline for 2 years. Ben motherfucking McAdoo, the ex-Giants head coach, is the quarterback's coach of the Jags. And I didn't know where the fuck he went. I thought he just fell into a deep, dark black hole somewhere. I couldn't believe it when I read that. I had to double check.
Yeah, I'm geeking out right now. I'm geeking out right now. So
that's I fucking hope they get a new one. Please don't give that man.
I
Trevor
mean, that
Lawrence.
whole
Yeah.
staff is gone. I mean, there's no way.
There's
Doug
no
Yeah,
way.
for
Lawrence
sure.
is gone.
Yeah, no way.
And like I said before, I know that tanking doesn't really mean it isn't real for coaches.
right.
I swear to God, Shad Khan has some deal worked out with Doug Marrone.
I mean,
because there's
yeah.
no reason you shouldn't be starting Gardner Minshew.
I mean, I think like what happens is like the front office, that upper management will say, okay, we need to tank. And then the coach, will play into that sometimes, not all the time. But I do think the coach sometimes in a tank situation is an extension of the, upper echelon of the staff, if you will.
Only think that's the case if they're a first year head coach. So like
Yeah.
Brian Flores last year. So
See, I would actually disagree with you. I would say that, like, if the coach has been there a long time, sometimes they're okay with that. Like, I've seen it before
absolutely
in
not.
other
Because
sports.
if you're there for a long time, you're gonna get fired.
Not
The
necessarily
only reason
true.
if you're a coach that you pray.
Well,
for
I guess that
tanking-
is somewhat true.
It's definitely true. The only way that you're a coach and
Well, maybe
you
in football.
agree to maybe start some people that shouldn't be started to give yourself a little bit worse chance is you're one Pete Rose, or two, or two, you are a first year head coach and you are in on the tanking problem so that you can draft who you want to draft going forward.
Right. I mean, I guess he is not necessarily a first year head coach, but he's a newer coach. I was going to bring up the Rangers coach, but he's only been there this will be his third year. And you'll never convince me they didn't tank last year to get that number 1 overall pick. Like, I know they tanked. But anyway, that's beside the point. Interesting conversation. I'm going to just kind of assume you're both going to take the Titans in the Titans-Texans game.
Tits Tex.
Am I correct in assuming that?
Yeah, the Titans are who I'm picking anyway. I don't know about Dubs.
Yeah,
Correct.
I think we can gloss over that. What about the Cardinals-Rams, though? Who you
Well,
picking
really,
there?
I had fun stats for that.
Okay, all right. You sounded so disappointed. Rattle them off, bud. Floor is
Man.
yours.
Hey man, I spend time
Caref-
on notes for these
careful,
games,
though.
man.
Careful though.
Yeah, don't step on his dick.
So the over is 56.
No, it hits the floor.
Your weekend gambling anchor is here right now, and he's telling you that the over is 56 in this game. It should be a high-scoring game. It's in a dome, so you don't have to worry about weather. And both of these defenses are absolutely terrible. Also, the Titans need this win to ensure their win in the AFC South.
Okay, all right. So now can we move to the Cardinals-Rams game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I had on it was that Henry's gonna fucking run down Texans' throat. They
Yeah,
have no run
absolutely.
defense.
They're garbage.
yeah.
No
They're
defense of any kind.
they're just trash. Now Cardinals Rams, and I think Meach has actually brought this up before. In the McVay era, the Rams have like a ridiculous record against the Cards, right? I'm pretty sure it was you that pointed that out to me before,
brought
but it could have been
that
some.
up.
Yeah, okay. I knew it was either one of y'all or my roommate Sked. Hey, there's your Sked sighting for this week. Yeah,
They're
it's
like 8-1 or something.
yeah, it's or it's like 7-0 or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
So who you picking?
I'm gonna go against that trend. I'm picking the Cardinals.
Why the DK mode's got you feeling good?
Yeah, absolutely. Appealing to the eye. Cardinals' run game has been dipping in the rankings the last couple weeks. Both teams are coming off a bad loss. Arizona is 26th against the run, but Los Angeles has no running back right now. They don't know who's starting. There's a bunch of injuries. And Jared Goff is not starting. They've already announced that John Wildfire Wolford is going to be making his first start.
Wildfire! Hey, wildfire!
So yeah, I like the Cardinals and Kyler in a bounce back game.
Yeah, also picking the Cardinals.
Oh, look at my boys
Murray-
going against the grain. Punk rock as fuck.
I mean, I don't know if it's that against the grain. Goff is out with a broken thumb, and as much
True.
as he of a clown as he is, he basically single-handedly lost to the Jets. But anyway,
Yeah, but the
Kyler
broken
Murray
thumb
was
could have had
questionable.
something to do with that, bro.
I mean, he threw that horrible interception before the broken thumb, so
Papa
Yeah.
Dubs hates Jared Goff.
Fair enough. Oh, I mean, I'm not a fan either. I'm just, give him the benefit of the doubt,
I mean,
Well,
give
yeah,
it any
you're
quarterback.
an Air Bear Chargers kind of guy.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my god! Imagine what McVay could do with an Air Bear, dude. Like he would be
Yeah.
fucking lighting it up.
That shit would be
yeah.
lit.
So yeah, the Cardinals. So Kyler Murray was questionable going into the week. He has announced that he will start. So unless he pulls some kind of Josh Jacobs, bullshit, he will start. And then the Cardinals win and they get into the playoffs. So win and in. So I think the Cardinals will win this week.
Yeah, got something to play for. I think that's a good point. Well, what about Saints Panthers? That's another one of those matchups that I don't think is too interesting, but my boys surprise me sometimes, so surprise me.
I'm taking the Saints. Kamara's 6 touchdowns last week. Historic, huge game. Drew Brees did not look real good, and really since he's gotten back from the injury, he hasn't looked great.
Which is to be expected.
All right, I expect this game to be their last. I mean, it's their last one before the playoffs. Supposed to get the offense clicking on all cylinders. And the Panthers' defense is 28th against the run, and their pass defense has looked good the last 2 weeks, picking off Haskins twice and Rodgers 143 yards allowed. So I think that the Saints are going to win, and their offense is going to figure out the issues they've been having before the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy when Breeze can look as bad as he looked last week, and they're like, oh, we'll just hand it to Kamara 6 times.
It doesn't even fucking matter.
Yeah, so I'm picking the Saints here too. The Panthers won last week, but they are not playing Dwayne Haskins this week. They can't. He's not on a roster. Hey-oh.
Got him.
I mean, he deserves it.
He got himself.
Yeah, exactly. He put himself in the fucking body bag.
Yeah. Panthers are 0-10 when allowing over 22 points, 5-0 when allowing under 21 points. That's going to be hard to do against the Saints' high-powered offense.
Yep.
And at the same time, the defense is not too shabby either and will probably hurt the Panthers.
Okay. Well, you talk about
they're going to put a hurting on them.
You talk about defenses that aren't too shabby. Next on the list is the Packers and the Bears, and the Packers actually have the 7th ranked defense in the league, believe it or not. And sorry, Double, I'm stepping on your toes a little bit there.
Okay.
And I think the Bears have the 11th ranked defense in the league. So
that's correct.
Yeah. So, but the Packers offense is way up there, right? It's got to be in the league. It's got to be like in the top 5.
They have the MVP.
Yeah, exactly.
They are 5th and 6th in different offensive stats. So yeah, they're right there.
Yeah, they got to be like right there. So I mean, in my opinion, it's a Packers win. But again, I'm curious to hear your pick. So let me have it. Let it wash over me.
I am going to take the Packers, despite Montgomery and Mitch playing really well the last couple games. 100-plus yards to Montgomery in Week 12, first matchup between the Bears and the Packers. And Mitch has had a rating of 95-plus in 4 straight. But in Week 12, he's picked off twice by the Packers in their last matchup, who also picked off Tannehill twice last week. I expect that defense to continue rolling and stop the Bears, who have been surging as of late, and I will go with the Packers.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Packers here. Not too much of a shocker. They have the MVP in Aaron Rodgers, and also their run defense, which had looked like the shakiest part of this defense, really did a good job last week containing Henry. Like we said, he still had almost 100 yards, but people thought he was going to get like 150. So they really did a good job containing that. I think Mike Pettin is actually a really good defensive coordinator. He kind of got screwed over in Cleveland because he had, I think, more wins than Hugh Jackson all the time. And
that's correct.
Yet got fired, and Hugh Jackson didn't. So I think Mike Pettin is actually a sneaky good pick for like a head coach somewhere actually as well. But the way he torqued this defense has, since he's gotten there, actually, I mean, they've never been a super strong defense. And after he got there, they had started to improve. And then like last week, he stopped the run. The Bears are going to try and run this week again because the offensive genius Matt Nagy finally figured out that he has to run the ball to take some pressure off of his quarterback. Go figure. But I think the Packers will stop that and contain the run with both him and Trubisky.
Agreed. I think it's going to be a good cap off to Aaron Rodgers' MVP season.
Yeah, exactly. His numbers are just stupid.
Okay, so it's the Chargers. Let's just get it out of the way.
Get one out of the way.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I fucking hate you. All right, it's the Chargers and the Chiefs, and I have a question before you tell me your picks. Do you think the Air Bear is going to make this a game? Because that's what I'm curious about. Because obviously the Chiefs are going to win, but is he going to make it a game?
I'm picking the Chargers.
I am also picking the Chargers.
Wow.
Mahomes is definitely not going to play.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
they
that's
are
a fair
the first
point.
round. They are the number one seed in the AFC, meaning they get the bye.
Yeah.
They are the one team that can actually rest their players and not have any repercussions
At all. Yeah, that's a really good point. Okay.
And here's my prediction from it. I think the win over the Chiefs is going to look real good on paper, and Herbert is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year over Justin Jefferson.
Oh. I actually, you know what? I don't even think that's like a bold
I don't
claim.
think it's that bold either.
At all. I think it's pretty plain, actually.
Agreed.
The dude has set like a record for touchdowns in a rookie season. I mean, come on.
But everyone sets that record, and it's going to continue to get reset because
that's true.
Is more prolific than it's ever been.
I think if Justin Herbert wasn't like if he just wasn't in the conversation, it would be Justin Jefferson's hands down.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that crazy of a pick. I just think it's going to be a tight race because Justin Jefferson is absolutely balled.
That's what I'm saying. The win over the Chiefs on paper might look good enough to get it over the edge.
Yeah. That's a good point too.
And without Burrow, he's really the only rookie quarterback that has been great. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yeah.
So and it is a quarterback league. Yeah, I'm also taking the Chargers here. It's going to be a high of 40 since it's the Chargers going to a cold weather.
Sorry, I had to do your little teaser there.
You're good. Weather with Meech. We're gonna hit weather and betting here. So yeah, right. High of 40, but no rain or snow. Shouldn't be too much wind as well. I think it was like 5 miles per hour, something like that. So I think the Chargers are going to light it up. And once again play against a Chiefs team that will inevitably be resting everyone because they have literally not one repercussion for not resting anyone. Also, the Chargers are favored to win this against the spread, so it's they're negative 3.5. Usually, they would be down probably a touchdown on this game. So the fact that the desert has them as favorites in Kansas City will tell you everything you need to know about this game and who should win.
Meech,
also,
into the weather, into gambling. All the single ladies out there, holler at your boy.
Also, I was just going to bring up, will this Anthony Lynn's last game be a win as a head coach? Because I don't know if he's going to be there next year.
Yeah, I don't know if he is either.
Dating profile says I like Jim Cantori clips and betting insane amounts on sports.
I'm all about weather and against the spread.
Weather covers the spread. That's Meech's tagline.
I love that. I love that, Birdie.
Yeah, man.
Weather
you're welcome.
Covers the spread.
We got to make a bumper sticker with Meech's face that says "Weather covers the spread."
With me doing like finger guns.
Yeah, exactly.
Weather covers the spread.
You can wear it on the hoodie. You can be wearing a Colt McCoy hoodie.
Hell yeah!
It says pew pew while you're shooting your finger.
This is all monumentally good ideas. So we got
summing it up. Your Chargers are going to win this week, bro. How do you feel about that, Birdie?
God damn it!
It's got to
be.
We
almost got there.
Feeling.
Actually, it is an uplifting feeling because the Chargers are not my team. They are probably my second team, and I really do like Air Bear, and I really do think, much like the Dolphins, if they make the right moves going forward, they could be a deadly team. If he stays in this kind of shape as a quarterback, all you got to do is build a good team, and you can be in business. It's just, are they going to put the other pieces in place? But speaking of a team that's not in business...
Real quick, Meech,
Yeah.
I like that when Bernie prompted us about the Chargers joke, we were like, what? Just immediately.
Yeah, you gave it the old bait and switch. I wouldn't be too proud of that. That's like comedy basics. Jesus. Anyway.
I don't know if the Chargers are like the Dolphins, though, because until Marty Schottenheimer is back on that sideline, they are cursed. And they will never have a good team.
No. I'm just saying, like, there's potential. Like, it just has to, like, the team has to be built
But they're
right.
the Chargers.
I hear you. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
They
it's
need
going
new
to happen.
ownership.
I'm saying if they did it, much like the Dolphins, they could be a deadly team. But
they're the Chargers.
I hear you. Speaking of a team that's not... Why did I say it like that? I hear you.
I hear you.
I hear you.
God damn it. I mean, I am from the
Weather
fucking
covers the
South.
spread. I hear you.
This episode's going to be titled
Overwatch
Weather
reference
Covers the
there.
Spread.
It's definitely called Weather Covers the Spread. That's the title of the episode right there.
Beautiful.
So, what about the spread on the 49ers Seahawks game, Meech? Do you know what the spread is there, or do you have any inclination as to who you're going to take in a bet?
I didn't look up the spread in that game because I'm not going to bet it. The Seahawks are going to win this game.
Right.
Since Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde have come back, Seahawks have found their groove on offense, making Russ cook part-time. So half the time they eat out, half the time Russ cooks, and it works for them. The balanced offense definitely helps, and they've looked better since those guys have come back. Also, the defense over the last 5 games has allowed under 17 points. The additions of Dunlap and Adams are really starting to pay off, and this defense is starting to gel at the right time.
I just picture Russell Wilson in an apron cooking for Pete Carroll, Metcalf, Chris Carson, and Tyler Lockett.
Like the Last Supper picture, but with fucking Russ cooking.
Man, that should be a poster. That's amazing.
Russ Wilson is looking for a career high in touchdowns, yards, and completion percentage. Like we said, he's had a lot of good people around him taking the pressure off. The defense has turned around to be 7th in yards against them, in 6th actually, sorry. 6th against the 6th in defense in the NFL. Niners are going to lose to the Seahawks here, and the Seahawks are going to get an easy win in before the playoffs.
So my point about Shanahan was, do you think he deserves Coach of the Year for this performance?
No.
No, I don't.
Kind of do. He has taken a team.
I don't think you could get it with a losing record. I understand the point you're going to make.
Yeah, I do too.
They've been so injury riddled, and he's had to make so many adjustments on the fly and everything, but I think you still need to have a winning record.
I agree with Double, but if that's your point, Meech, I do think it's a fair point.
I didn't mean to take that out of your mouth. I just
No, it was just a question.
Yeah.
While I was writing this down, I was picking the Seahawks, and I was like, what if crazy ass Shanahan pulls this off? Like, what if he pulls off a win here? They go 7-9. He gets Coach of the Year because he would be first place in the NFC East right now.
I think Coach of the Year is probably Flores.
But that's the AFC. I think there's one for each league.
I still don't think it'd be him.
We shall see.
You know who's not Coach of the Year though? Fucking McCarthy. That guy, I can't believe he's going to be a head coach next year.
He smashes pumpkins. Or not pumpkins. He smashes
Watermelons. Yeah. Not
you know who
pumpkins.
else is also not Coach of the Year? John Gruden.
It's unfortunate that he's not. I
So
wish we had.
overrated.
He is, but it's
He's
fucking
14
entertaining.
games under 500 in his career. That's crazy for someone who's making $10 million.
Yeah, he's not great.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That's crazy
He's
for
one
someone
thing,
who
he's
signed a
entertaining.
10-year, $100 million deal.
The $100 million man.
Yeah, that's nutty. So who are you going to take in the Raiders-Broncos game?
I'm going to take the Raiders, despite shitting on John Gruden there for a few seconds.
Right.
Locke fucking shits on himself. 2 interceptions, 15 on the season to go along with 14 touchdowns. I feel like every time we talk about the Broncos, I have to bring that up because he's been really fucking bad. And I don't expect him to be the starter next season. Darren Waller's had over 100 yards in 3 of his last 4. As much shit as Carr gets, he's got 25 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions this season. So he has been decent. In a battle of 2 bad defenses, I will take the better offense, and that's the Raiders.
I am going with the Broncos here because why? Mile high advantage. They are playing in Denver, and I still refuse to believe that that's not a thing. So we are taking the Broncos because growing up it was, but they were also a little bit better. So I'm taking the Broncos, and yeah, my notes were similar to yours in the fact that Drew Lock has got to take better care of the ball. He threw 2 interceptions last week, and if he really wants a chance at the starting job next year, which we'll see if that even happens, a lot of rumors swirling around if maybe even Elway will step down. We will see what happens, but I still think the Broncos end in a win. Pretty much only because of that mile high advantage, and I hate John Gruden.
No way the fucking Broncos win this game.
I actually that was going to be my Birdie's bold pick for the week is that the Broncos were going to win.
Birdie's bold pick?
Yeah, Birdie's bold pick for the week was going to be that the Broncos win, but I've been going back and forth on it, man.
I think this is the final nail in Drew Lock's coffin.
That's
might not
fair.
Be wrong.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. You might not be wrong.
I mean, if this game was legitimately not in Denver, I would pick the Raiders. That's literally basically the only reason I picked the Broncos.
Yeah.
The Raiders have gone on the road pretty successfully this season.
Well, I just Googled it, and Denver has won 5 straight Week 17 games versus Vegas. So
I'm going against the trend for the second time this episode.
Yeah, look at double punk rock AF. All right, so we got one more game to talk about, and then we can get the hell out of here for the night. It's the Football Club playing the Eagles.
First off, R.I.P.
The trend song joke.
I did. I'm sorry, man. I heard it, but I was so focused on being a host. But
laser-like focus.
Yeah, my bad, bro. But well, here's the thing: the Washington Football Club, as I'm sure you're aware, and everyone else listening is aware. You know, if they win this game, they clinch the NFC East, or the NFC East, as you call it. So yeah,
NFC East rising up to beat competition.
Who you taking, Meech? Because it's the Eagles. I gotta know, baby.
I think the yeast is for the infection they leave after you watch them.
Yeah, I do have to say, if the Eagles weren't my team, I probably would have about as much interest in this as I have in the Giants-Cowboys game. However, unfortunately, the Eagles are my team, and I am going to pick them. I don't know why. I've picked them 3 times. They've won 1, lost 1. That math doesn't add up. I think they've lost 2. I think they've won 1, lost 2.
Okay.
Anyway, that might be wrong too. Anyway,
doesn't matter.
WCF, the football club, does not have Dwayne Haskins. He was released, which is a great thing because if he were to start the game, the Eagles would definitely win this game. Alex Smith is supposed to start. However, him and McLaurin missed practice today. If Riverboat Ron said that if Smith does not play, Taylor Heineke will be the starting quarterback against the Eagles. So everything I said basically points me towards the football club winning this matchup. However, Riverboat Ron, 7-14 against rookie QBs. It's like the opposite of Bill. And Jalen Hurts is a rookie QB. I think the Eagles win.
Can I say something real quick? I think you're right.
Me and Birdie.
I think you're both wrong.
Mm-hmm.
First off, R.I.P. to Dwayne Haskins' career cause of death, self-inflicted gunshot wounds to the foot. I like the Washington Football Club in this one. Alex Smith, like you said, did not practice today, but I expect he will be starting. And even if he doesn't, honestly, I will take fucking Heineke. He looks pretty good.
He did look good.
Eagles have allowed 800, just about 800 passing yards the last 2 games. The Washington Football Club does not have the most prolific passing offense this season, but against a defense like that, I think that they should be able to get the job done. Gibson returned with 6 yards per carry on limited work. They'll probably get him in more action this week. Despite Hurts playing well, I expect WFC to pull this one out.
All right, boys. Well, this is another lengthy episode. I've said it before in this episode, but I'm going to say it again. We've come such a long way in 15 episodes. I'm really proud of us. So,
length is my strong suit.
God damn it. There's that fucking the biggest ass in Mass has made himself known again. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Stone Sports, or really just this episode of Stone Sports. We really appreciate it. Follow us on all the socials. That's Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. It's all Stone Sports Podcast. Meech, why don't you plug your Twitter too real quick before we go so people can follow you too?
I don't know what my Twitter is. I think it's just at Michla.
Okay, at Meechlaw on Twitter. There you go, people.
Follow him. He likes everything I like.
There you go. You'll find it that way. Anything else you want to say before we go,
Except
boys?
the fucking Eagles.
Yeah, right? Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'd like to say one more thing.
Sure.
That's it.
All right. Say goodbye, boys.
Peace.
Weather covers the spread.
Lighters.